Medieval political thought. This period start from 11th century and extend till 16 at the end of 16th century till the reformation of church. The medieval political thought is very important in the study of political thought because it's a turning point in the political history, and because before that period the ideology was totally different, political ideology, political thinking was totally different. After medieval period, nation states start emerging in the world, and the political ideology or the political thought totally change after this period. In this lecture we will see the a brief introduction of medieval political thought. Medieval period means the period between 11th and 16th century till the reformation of church. The sources of thought during these periods were Aristotle's book, Politics, Roman laws, and the Bible. During medieval period, Europe was divided into small states, and there was no such power to unite all these small states. There was effect of opposite forces like nationality, feudal system, Roman rule, and church on political system thoughts. From 11th century to the end of papacy of Boniface VIII in 1303, church had upper hand on Roman kingdom, and from during 11th and 15th century, papacy had to face national rulers and classes. State and church were thought as two different aspects of same society in medieval period. Uh, when Christianity was introduced in Europe, king was the head of state as well as the head of church. So, king was above church, and church was under king. In 8th century, the powers and sphere of pope and king were not distinct. It was not clear that either pope is powerful or king is powerful, or they have got same powers in their own sphere. So these questions create conflict between church and state for many centuries. The church claimed that its base was established by God, so church had upper hand over king. On the other hand, king claimed himself the vicegerent of God on the earth. It was said that the two swords which God had given to Peter, Peter had kept the spiritual sword with himself and the worldly sword, and gave the worldly sword to king. So king received the powers directly from God, and he was the viceroy of God in worldly matter, and anybody who does not follow the king is considered to be he is considered to disobey God. So the concept of Devin theory was prevailing that time. We will discuss about Devin theory in the concepts of state theories in another lecture. The strong feudal system remained a strong wall for a strong Roman kingdom. As a result, church got strength under papacy. In the 8th century, new turn circumstances, and Leo III Shremlin was enthroned by Pope. This incident, the enthronement of Shremlin by Pope, uh, light a will to get full power of the church. As a result, the church attempt to get full power, and the conflict started by 11th century. The conflict between church and king started in 11th century with the reformation of Pope Gregory. Pope Gregory remained on the throne of papacy from 1073 to 1085. he had made following reforms. He restored the past passion of asceticism. He finished the system of clerical marriages, and he banned the selling and buying of church posts. After these reforms, Gregory became a cause of reforms by Gregory. These reforms become a cause of tension between Emperor Henry IV and the Pope Gregory. The Henry IV deposed Gregory in 1076. As a result, Pope excommunicated Henry IV from church. Excommunicated means to debar somebody from church. Gregory in Gregory VII deposed Henry IV, who was the King of France, in 1076. After that, Gregory had to surrender. So, after with the help of the weapon of excommunication, Gregory uh, Gregory brought Henry under him. After that, with the help of excommunication weapon, church gained the upper hand over the king. Papacy remained strong till Innocent III. The Pope Boniface VIII, who remained on the throne of Pope from 1294 to 1303, this Pope Boniface VIII had a conflict with Philip IV of France and Edward I of England on the matter of imposing taxes on the peasants. In 1304, King arrested Pope. Henry IV had arrested Pope, and he was released after some time, but after release the Pope died, and the King of France became victorious in this conflict. In 1309, a special incident happened. From 1309 to 1377, Pope had shifted his residence. Actually, in 1309, when Pope excommunicated the ruler of Petrich, this created up an emergency, as a result of which Pope had to change his residence from Rome to Avignon in France. This practice continued from 1309 to 1377, and this incident is called Babylonian captivity. When Pope was shifted from Rome to Avignon, and Pope remained in Avignon from 1309 to 1377. This period from 1309 to 1377 is called Babylonian captivity, because in this period Pope had shifted his residence. At last, Pope shifted his residence back to Rome in 1378, and after that, Catholic Church was also divided. Actually, on exaltation problem of Gregory XI, Roman Catholic Church was divided into two sects. Both sects elected their popes. At last in 1417, the election of Martin V ended this chaos. The national states in England and France didn't give papacy the previous status, and this seriously damaged the status of papacy in Europe. And in 1517, a German professor, Martin Luther, pasted material against the Pope of Rome at the door of the church in the city of Wittenberg in Germany. In this way, Reformation movement in church started, and the Protestant church came into existence. In 1521, Pope of Rome excommunicated Martin Luther. However, Martin Luther continued the Reformation work, and Reformation of church continued onward.